Good afternoon. We will call to order, and we will start with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the ground on which we live is the traditional territory of Caldwell First Nation, of the Three Fires Confederacy, and the original people of Point Pelee and Pelee Island and its surrounding lands and waters, and that of the Huron, Wendat, and Wyandot peoples. We recognize and respect the First Nations who are stewards of the land and waters of Turtle Island and who have embraced the stewardship since time immemorial. We would also like to acknowledge the contributions of other nearby First Nations, communities, and all original people across Turtle Island. Before we start the meeting, I would like to introduce two of our new staff members. Stephanie Aluski, hopefully I said that okay, is our council and committee coordinator. She will be the main contact person and preparing the agendas and minutes, so we welcome you. And Emily Olette is our accessibility clerk. Her new position is focusing on remediating documents and website compliance under the AODA. So we welcome you, Emily. Can I get someone to adopt the agenda, please? Okay, Councillor Burns and Cynthia. Okay, thank you. And disclosures of pecuniary interest, please. Nobody? Oh, and we welcome Joanna online. And I will have can I get somebody to adopt the minutes, please? Okay, Cynthia and Councillor Burns. We will move over to items E for consideration, and I will pass it on to Linda Jean.
Thank you, Councillor Riccio Spagnolo, and I'm here to present the year-end accessibility status report for 2024. It is a regulation under the AODA that an annual status report be prepared every year-end. So for compliance, we've prepared this for the committee, and this will also be posted on the website once received by members of the committee. Couple things that we did last year. This really does emphasize some of the highlights that happened in 2024. There's been quite a bit of work that has been done that is not really depicted in this report. We're realizing more and more that our departments are accessibility focused. So when it comes to festival and events, it's top of mind. When it comes to our roads and our traffic, it's top of mind. A lot of our development, it's top of mind. So I think that the town of LaSalle has really moved forward with focusing on accessibility and our community with and preventing barriers. So that's a good thing to realize. Our committee last year, some of the highlights, we had Henderson Play Equipment conduct a detailed presentation for us. We had a design review for the second fire hall. We had an educational session presented by Julie Sawchuk, and the Accessibility Advisory Committee was invited to provide some consultation on the development of the Parks and Rec Master Plan. That kind of is a broad highlight of the committee. There was some conversation at the committee level with regards to reviewing plans prior to implementation. In 2024, some of those plans that came to us were post-development and things like that. So that is something that administration acknowledges and something that we are working on for anything moving forward. As with regards to information and communication, what I tried to do last year was the formation of an accessibility working group. And what that means is that I had a member from each department meet just twice last year, but just to tell us of an overview of things that they're working on departmentally, so that we could bring that either to the committee and I could have it for my year-end report. We did only meet twice due to some staff changes this year in our department. We haven't met yet this year, but it's on the agenda for me and our new 2 staff members to get that going again for 2025. So that's something that we're going to focus on in the next few months. 2 of our staff members participated in the Outdoor Accessibility Fest for All, and that was something that was sponsored and created by the Essex County Accessibility Committee. We had a booth set up and we had some pamphlets set out, and I guess it was a really good response. We are continuing efforts to improve our website and accessibility and document remediation. We did roll out a new website in 2025, and you know, there was a lot of work done on that prior to. And so that was for our communication part. As for employment, in 2024, Council approved a new accessibility clerk position, which Emily is with us here today. That position for this year and next year is really going to be focusing again on document remediation and an accessible website so that we are compliant with the AODA. So we're in a strong learning curve right now with that, but moving forward, that's something that's going to be really welcome for our committee and for the town of LaSalle. And then also with our employment, our Human Resources Department is continually advertising about our employment opportunities, but there's always language in there in the hiring practice that accommodation is available for those who need it. For our public spaces, our events, our Culture and Rec team is working hard on all our events and making them as accessible. This year I spoke to Scott prior to, and he advised that, I guess, and maybe he can elaborate on this, but there was some specialized cable covers that had been implemented to enhance safety at our events so that our cables were not a trip hazard, and to conceal the cables. But I see Scott looking at his microphone. Maybe he can elaborate on that.
Yes, thank you, Linda. So we did order some cable covers in previous last year so that we could implement anytime a electrical wire maybe has to cross a path that a member of the public is going to be walking across. We bought a few different versions of cable covers so that they could be enclosed in there and that it was more accessible. And additionally, we have made some improvements for the parking lot 3 power for the Strawberry Festival, so we can even reduce further the number of times a wire or an electrical wire even has to cross a path for the members of the public. So we have the cable covers where they're absolutely necessary for electrical cords to run across pathways, but we've also made some improvements to eliminate that as a barrier at all. So kind of doing as many different things as we can to try to take our current circumstance and make it as accessible as we can, or remove the barrier completely.
And finally, again, with Mr. Bisson here, expanding accessibility in programming and design. So I know our team for Culture and Rec as well has been specializing some adaptations for participants with unique needs, and an example is a participant with a visual impairment registered for a swimming program. In collaboration with the CNIB, staff were provided with tailored adaptations and strategies to create a more accessible experience for the participants. So when we do have somebody with a barrier signing up for some of our programs, I know the Culture and Rec team tries to accommodate that. And then again, with some of our festival and events, they have been creating sensory-friendly spaces to reduce overstimulation and provide a comfortable environment for some of our people who need that. I see Scott motioning he's got other comments.
And maybe one thing to add, our programming team has also developed a sensory kit that is the programming staff put together. That's available for the different program instructors to use. We use it a lot in camp settings, but also in other program settings. So perhaps we have a participant, a child or youth, who maybe needs something to help redirect their attention, or maybe just needs something that is, they can hold in their hand and they can, play with or manipulate to keep them calm, or maybe to keep them engaged. So the staff have put together a sensory kit of a whole bunch of different equipment that can be used by any instructor when we need it. So, and we used it several times. So.
And that's it, but I am available for any questions. And Mr. Beeson as well is here if you have any questions for him as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda and Scott, for your detailed presentation. Are there any questions or comments? Okay, Councillor Burns.
You know, I'd like to see in our annual report next year, the approximate dollars that we spent, so we know whether we're going forward or backwards and then that's a figure that we'll be able to distinguish within our budgets and then make it more available to the public, that we just don't talk the talk and not walk the walk. So it would, because I actually don't know myself, and being a member of the board, I think that's an important figure, so that if we need to budget it more, we can do that at budget time. Thank you. Just a recommendation.
Through you, Councillor Richo Spagnolo. Councillor Burns, just for clarification, is that everything that the town does with regards to accessibility, or just through the committee?
Well, I think that should be all. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? Okay, not seeing any, so there's a recommendation before us that the report of the Deputy Clerk dated February 2nd, 2025, CS-2025-001 regarding the 2024 year-end accessibility status report be received. Okay, Councillor Burns and Cynthia, thank you. Okay, item number 2 is the 2025 committee work plan.
Thank you very much. Part of your agenda package, it included the 2025 work plan. So I just want to go over some of the items. These are things that we have kind of brainstormed, put together that might be beneficial for the committee, realizing that we're already into the second quarter, but things that are either coming up very soon or that we can look forward to in the third and fourth quarter. So something that's happening next week, as you guys are aware of, is the National Accessibility Week. That's from May 25th to the 31st. So 2 things are happening next week for us. Monday, May 26th at 1 p.m. is going to be our accessibility flag raising event here at the Civic Center at 1 o'clock. So we're inviting everyone to come. We've put it out to the public on social media posts that will be going out. We have Stacy from the LaSalle Para Rowing Club coming to speak for a few minutes there. So we're really excited about that. We were also able to secure an ASL interpreter, so that we are hoping to be able to open that up if there's anyone from the community that requires that service. Rebecca will be there to interpret all the speeches that will be presented. Along with that, Red Shirt Day is usually recognized as part of the Easter Seals program. That's usually recognized on the Wednesday of the week, but we're asking people to celebrate that with us during the flag raising on the Monday. So we're asking that you come to the flag raising as well as wear red as a symbol of celebrating people who've had achievements with Canadians that have disabilities. So make sure you wear your red on Monday when you show up for the flag raising. It's going to be a great event. This is our 3rd annual flag raising, so again, we want to continue with doing this every year. Something that's coming up September, as the Deputy Clerk had mentioned, we did last year, it's the County of Essex Fest for All event. This is something the county puts on. It's going to be September 12th this year, so we really want to encourage not just committee members, but for the public to attend as well. It is really important for us to be able, as a committee, to be a visual representation to not just our local community, but around the county. You will have other people attending from the public, so I think it's really important for people that are there to understand that LaSalle does have an accessibility committee, things that we offer as a committee or resources we can be to people in our own community. There's going to be really great vendors. I know Crystal from the county is pretty excited about all the vendors that she's getting, so I'm looking forward to that. And we plan on preparing a booth and having some, brochures and swag and stuff. So we really want to encourage all the committee members to come out on September 12th. As we get a little bit closer to the date, we'll be sending out reminders and also trying to brainstorm what you would like to see at the booth that we could give out that would best represent the town of LaSalle's committee. We were able to secure, part of one of our work plans is to engage in online learning and ongoing learning initiatives. So we were looking to see how you could receive education or training about accessibility options and having inclusion advocates. And we were able to book a speaker from the John McGivney Center for our September meeting. So we're really looking forward to that. I think it's really important to learn about local organizations that deal with, Canadians that have disabilities, especially with children, how we can be more inclusive and how as a town that we can offer opportunities as programming and facilities does for events like the Strawberry Festival, other events that we have coming up. How can we be more inclusive? So I think any training or education that we get as a committee and also are able to educate the public is important. I will be looking for some free online training. I realize it's difficult. We all have, jobs and things that are going on, but I'm gonna try and find some free online training that you can take at your own time. The AODA is constantly trying to come up with new amendments, and so I think the more that we can learn as a committee, it's only beneficial for us. And I encourage you that if you find any training material that you think would be worth it, to send to me and we'll go over and we can see what we can do. But I think that that's always important, ongoing learning all the time. Our November meeting, so we've jam-packed everything into the last 2 quarters. But we are gonna tour the second fire station. That's where we're gonna have our meeting in November. We've already arranged it with Kristen at the fire hall. She's very excited to welcome us there. So I will provide details as we get closer to that meeting, but it'll be a nice tour of the new facility. So we're looking forward to that. Finally, just participating in planning and discussions concerning inclusion, access, and features of LaSalle parks. So being able to provide feedback if we have concerns with access and inclusion, with any proposed playground replacements, and that's working with Public Works, Culture and Recreation, and kind of ongoing. So as new projects come up, we're gonna try and ensure that, we're on the right path and bringing forward the items that we need to bring forward for the committee's review.
Thank you, Stephanie. Are there any questions or comments? No, not seeing any. Okay, the recommendation before us is that the 2025 work plan be approved as presented. Joanna and Councillor Burns. Okay, perfect, that has passed. And item 3, LaSalle Post flag raising advertisement. I see in our agendas that there is a copy of the advertisement there, so it looks great. Is there any discussion on that? No? Okay, not seeing any. Okay. Brings us to our questions and statements from members of the committee. No questions, comments? Okay. Our next meeting date is scheduled to be held on September 17th at 3:30 p.m. And the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.